In the next 365 days, I'm going to make £1 million. I know this isn't a scam or some sort of overnight success story. This is real. So I'm breaking down the money moves, the mindset shifts, and resources that are going to get me there and show you how you can do it too. Hi, my name is Kia Commodore. I'm a 27-year-old entrepreneur living in the UK, and I'm going to be a millionaire. Like many of you watching this video, I really want to change my life, and I'm going to do it in 1 year. So a bit of background about me. I was born and raised in London in a little place called Newham. Newham is one of the poorest areas in London. And growing up, I saw that wealth was really not abundant where I was from. We weren't really encouraged to be successful. We weren't encouraged to make tons of money. We were just encouraged at school to do enough to get a decent job and get by. It wasn't until I hit sixth form that I realized I wanted more for myself, and I wanted more than what my area or my community were told that we could be. So when I got to university, I started my own platform, which initially wasn't really anything. I was just teaching my friends about financial literacy. I had learned a lot over the years because I'd had businesses from 9 years old. At 9, I was knitting and selling scarves. Secondary school at 11 through to 16, I was selling cookies, donuts, and pretty much anything I could get my hands on. And then in sixth form, which is when you're 16 to 18, I was wholesaling hair products, specifically for black hair from the US across Europe. So I knew a thing or two about how to make money, but we weren't taught how to actually manage that money. And it was in my final year of university that I decided to do something about it. And I started a podcast called Pennies to Pounds. Now, I didn't know the impact that was going to have in October 2019, because if I had known that 5 months later we were going to go into lockdown, I would have been better prepared for it. But me at 21 just knew that she wanted to help people understand how to manage their money better. There was more of a demand for my information and my content. So what started off as a podcast turned into an entire platform and has been my business for the past 5 years. I'm a full-time entrepreneur and I've done pretty well in that time, but I know that there's another level that I can unlock. Before I lose you, if you're someone who's working a 9 to 5 and think, well, I can't make 7 figures and I don't plan on being an entrepreneur, then that's just simply not true. I know a lot of people who work 9 to 5 and still have a 7-figure net worth. I'm going to share with you my exact plan to become a millionaire in 365 days from right now. I'm breaking down this video into 3 key sections: moves, mindset, and resources. So number 1, the moves. These are the things that I'm going to implement to actually get me to that £1 million mark. I have got my trusty laptop here because I've jotted everything down so I don't miss a thing. The first move may surprise a few of you, but it's actually health. There is that saying, health is wealth, and I 100% agree with it. And when things get stressful, your health is the first thing to go. I've experienced it firsthand and I'm definitely going through it right now. I was going to the gym 4 times a week at the beginning of the year. We are now currently going into April and I've definitely fallen off that. But I can't reach any type of milestone if I neglect myself and my health. I am recommitting to going to the gym and working out in some way, shape or form because I love walks. And we're currently heading towards spring, summer, which I love. So it may be in the form of long walks, but some sort of physical activity 4 times a week and trying to improve my diet as well. Now we're going to move on to actually how I'm going to make the money. So I have 2 key revenue generators that I'm working on. So my business, Pennies to Pounds, and then me, Kia Commodore, as my personal brand. So let's break down Pennies to Pounds first. So we have quite a few streams as to how we make money. And then I'm going to break down how I'm actually going to increase and give a boost to those streams. So our first stream is our podcast. We have our social media, website, events, both in real life and online, and speaking engagements. The podcast has been running for 5 years and it's currently on a break and a pause just because I want to revamp it and make it the go-to podcast for Gen Z and millennials when it comes to learning about money and finances. When we relaunch, I plan to relaunch with a bang and make it a brand new, exciting format. And alongside that, I want to actually secure sponsors. So in the past, we've had sponsors here and there to sponsor episodes, which have been great, but I'm looking to secure 1 to 2 sponsors on 6 to 12 month partnerships. So I think that will really help, number 1, build trust with our audience if they know that this is the partner that we work with over a long period of time. And then number 2, obviously for the business to have more stable revenue and cash flow. And on top of that, I'm actually starting a Patreon page. So if you don't know what Patreon is, it is a subscriber-based platform that you can use that people can join and pay to help you out as a creator. And then in return, you give them some sort of benefit. So with the podcast, we're going to launch our Patreon page, and that is going to be to allow everyone who is joining and subscribing to actually be a part of building this podcast. So they get to have their say as to what episodes we have, who we have on, and also get a lot of inside looks and have a chance to ask questions to the people who come on to our podcast, because we've got some amazing guests lined up and I want to have the community build with us. Number 2 is our social media. Now this is where a lot of content creators, a lot of influencers will tell you that they make the biggest chunk of their money. And it's the same with us. It is strategic partnerships with banks and financial institutions to create content that live on our social media platform, or sometimes that we're getting a lot more to live actually on their social media platforms in the form of UGC. We've been getting a lot of one-off partnerships. Can you do this video here? We're promoting this. Can you do that there? I think I'm just done with these spontaneous, sporadic here and there partnerships. I really want to hone in and find 1 or 2 institutions again who want to work longer term. Again, it helps to build up that trust and actually maintain and generate our revenue. Going down to our website. So this is probably, if I'm honest, the most neglected part of the business. So we have a website that you can go and check out. There are articles on there. We have article writers who regularly update and give you the insights that you need to know when it comes to your money in a jargon-free manner. I'll be honest, I don't really do a lot on the website. It could be that I've got a lot going on, but we don't really do a lot. But one thing I really want to focus on is to bring on more writers and to really incorporate affiliates within our writing. So if you don't know what affiliate marketing is, this is where you're able to talk about a service, an app, a product that you may like and you may have tested. And then in return, if people click through and buy the product or subscribe to that service, you will get a small percentage of that sale. We talk about a lot of apps, a lot of products that benefit our readers. And I really want to make sure that we are working with these brands to get some sort of affiliate partnership set up where we can obviously benefit from driving more traffic towards them. Next on the list is our events. So I mentioned that we do in-person and online events. Our in-person events are incredible. If you are ever in London and looking for a fun, and I mean fun, finance event, definitely check us out. Every single one of our events have sold out. Over 100 people at every one in person. And I really want to kind of push more of that, but also do more corporate events. I would say probably a couple of years ago now, I was doing more corporate events where I'd be brought into, it might sound funny, but I'd be brought into banks to actually teach their employees about how to manage their money, plan for their retirement. But I really want to kind of work on building out a structured workshop plan that we can now pitch to corporate brands to come in and be able to teach their employees, because corporates, that is a great partnership to have. Whatever you're looking to do, if you're someone who's an entrepreneur and you have some sort of skill or knowledge that you can pass on, always try your best to look at what corporate partnerships you can align yourself with to help to generate more revenue. And then also put on more of our own events within Pennies to Pounds. And then lastly is speaking. So brands will often come and will want Pennies to Pounds as the brand to speak at an event, which is usually down to me, which is good. And I've had some exciting events. I was in Disneyland Paris at the beginning of this year, which was great. But I kind of want to pitch to bigger opportunities and bigger clients who want me to speak and impart my knowledge on financial literacy. So that is Pennies to Pounds, our revenue streams there. And I'm aiming to make around £300,000 with regards to everything I've just mentioned there. We've already made 30,000 in the first 3 months of this year. We scratched a little bit, but there's still quite a bit to go. And I think with all of these changes, this is really going to push us to hit that mark, if not excel past that mark. Now the biggest stream, it's going to be me, my personal brand. And that is what I believe is going to bring in the biggest chunk of money. The streams that I'm looking at right now are social media, webinars and courses, digital products, events, and then a private members community. So we break that down. So with social media, I have probably in the last, I would say 3 months, decided to take social media way more seriously. I neglected my personal brand for a long time because my brand Pennies to Pounds needed my time. So I put all my time there, but now I have circled the block and I've come all the way back around and I'm focusing heavy on my personal brand. If you have me on LinkedIn, you will know that I am a fiend. I am on there every single day, imparting knowledge, sharing my takes on things, and just sharing content daily on there. I've been posting regularly on TikTok, Instagram, X, Threads, you name it, I'm on there and I'm sharing. So I really am working to build up my personal brand and make sure I'm at the center of all conversations as it pertains to wealth building and personal branding. I'm looking to secure some long-term partnerships. This is still, again, at the beginning phases. I've only just started to work on that personal brand, but I really want to work on longer-term partnerships with the brands that do reach out. I'm also pitching myself to brands that I think will be a natural synergy and will work really well on my page. I'm also angling for an ambassadorship. Probably wondering, who do I want to be an ambassador for? There's loads of brands that I love, but there is one that is a no-brainer. I'll give you a few seconds. That is Kia. Kia Motors, I would love to be an ambassador for Kia Motors. I drive a Kia. It's the only car I've actually driven. I've had 2 cars and both have been Kias. My dad drives a Kia and I was named after the car. I feel like it's a no-brainer. So I'm gonna definitely work to start pitching, and I'd love to be like a European ambassador for Kia Motors. Wouldn't that be amazing? So that is on my list of things that I wanna pitch for this year. And then on top of that as well is to actually get monetized on YouTube. I am not monetized right now. I have not really been creating consistent content, like I said, but this is going to be the first of many more consistent videos on this topic and just generally around wealth building, personal branding, and a bit more of my lifestyle. Getting monetized, hopefully maybe this is the video that helps me push that bar and move that needle, but I really want to have that as another stream of income. Webinars. So this is something that's actually been highly requested from my community, is for me to share more of my expertise. I've almost taken a back seat through Pennies to Pounds, especially for our podcast. I don't really share the insights. I bring on experts who share their insights. Even if I know it too, I let them be the expert and I'm just the host. A lot of people want me to share my insights, especially around building wealth and personal branding. So I've started off kind of curating some webinars because I don't want to have a webinar for webinar's sake. I want it to really impart the most amount of knowledge that I physically can for those who join. I've got one coming up in the next month and the link is in the description if you're interested. And I'm going to have a number of those coming up that will just help you to reach this goal that I'm talking about and to reframe how you see wealth building, money, and personal branding. Courses also tie into that. I'm gonna put together some longer form courses, digital products. So this is something that I really want to work on. One of the ones that went viral for me was that I did a bingo template card that was for my New Year's goals for this year. I put that up on TikTok and that went viral. So I was sharing that template, and a lot of things that I do, I create templates just for me, for my workflow, for my productivity, me to track my finances. So I'm going to kind of package up what I do for myself and also put them out there for people like yourselves who might be watching who want access to that too. Events. This is so exciting for me. I believe that if you're leaving your house to come to an event, that you should go home feeling like, wow, I'm so glad I came. And that is what I've channeled into every single Pennies to Pounds event. I've never hosted an event for my personal brand until now. I've got a few in the works. One is going to be a retreat starting off in the UK. If there is demand in other countries, I will consider that. Probably in September. I'm still planning it and I'll announce it the next month. And then I also want to do a very intimate networking dinner that is of value. Quite often you go to networking events and you're meant to network, but you can go there and not meet anyone other than maybe the person you came with. Or if you go alone, then you meet no one. I don't like that. If you've ever been to an event of mine, you know I always encourage people to network. So that's gonna be something that I'm going to work on. And a few more events that I've got up my sleeve. So that's gonna be really exciting. And I think it's gonna be a great way for me to actually add to my revenue too. And then a private community. I want to surround myself with people who want the best for themselves. People who are gonna be the future millionaires of our society, of our world and our generation. I want to help that and curate a community of people who want to reach that. Within that, I have a great network of people who are incredible founders who have made 7 figures, 8 figures, even 9 figures, and be able to create that synergy between the community of people who want to be millionaires and bringing them in touch with the people who have already done it so we can all learn from them. So I am going to be launching that community for those who are interested. So if you are interested, the link is already in the description and you can join us and we can evolve together. We can level up, we can grow, and we can evolve together. From all of that, I'm aiming to generate a whopping £700,000. I know it's a massive number, but I believe it's possible. And what I also believe is that whilst I'm on this journey, more opportunities and more doors that I haven't even considered right now will open up that will make that number seem less daunting and less impossible. So I wholly believe that I'm going to reach this millionaire mark in 1 year's time to the day. Those are the moves I'm going to implement. Now it's the mindset, and this is going to be the key thing. If you have not mastered the mindset, you haven't mastered anything. I'm going to be honest. You can't physically do it. So the first thing that I even implemented today is to stick to the plan, not the mood. I'll be honest, I didn't want to sit here today and record this video. I wanted to be in bed watching TV because it is Saturday and I wanted to relax, but I had to stick to my plan. My plan was to record a YouTube video today. My plan was to talk about this today. So I had to stick to that plan and not my mood. If we stick to motivation, motivation is fleeting. That is why there is so much emphasis around discipline. Second to that is to master the art of deliberate focus. There is always a saying that we have the same 24 hours, and we do, but not everyone uses their time wisely. So I am really making sure that I mark up my schedule and I allocate time to deliberate focus. I set out clear, intentional goals. I prioritize the highest impact tasks and I block out distractions. And in that time, I only focus on things that are going to help me get closer to that £1 million mark. Another big mindset shift is abundance over scarcity. There is the scarcity mindset that you might think, money doesn't flow to me. Any money that I have to hoard because I might not get more. I am thinking I'm moving in an abundance mindset. There is so much money out there that why can't I be a millionaire? Why can't you be a millionaire? It's all possible. People do it every single day. People that are your age, from your background, who've had similar life experiences to you, similar access to you, have done it and are doing it. So why not you? So I think if you keep yourself in that abundance mindset, that will also help you on that journey. That's one thing that I'm really remembering and embodying as I'm going through this process. And lastly is that I'm committing to continuous reinvention. I am someone who is very big on, just because you're one way yesterday, it doesn't mean you have to be the same way today. If I decide that I no longer dress the way that I dress today compared to yesterday, I will change it. There is no one who tells you you have to be exactly the same when you're not allowed to change. And along this process, I guarantee you the person that you're watching right now in front of you will be very different to the person in 365 days who is hopefully a millionaire. And I'm very open to that reinvention. I'm very open to what that looks like and how I may change across that journey. So all of these things are going to help shape my mindset and push me closer to that £1 million mark. Now we're on to the last section, which is resources. So these are resources that I'm personally using and that I would encourage you to have a look at if you are coming along this journey with me, which I highly hope you are. First thing is books. I'm a massive reader. If you are not, get the audiobook version, use AI to give you a synopsis, whatever you need to do, but don't shy away from books. So the first book that I'm reading is called Manifesto by Candice Braithwaite. Great book around manifestation and changing your mindset around abundance. She talks about how she's manifested a lot of the things that she's gotten in her life, and it's incredible to read her actual lived experience around it. And I absolutely love it. I'm halfway through that book at the moment and I'm planning on finishing that very soon so I can kind of start to embody a lot of the tips that she gives you. Next one, which I've just gotten, is called Never Split the Difference. Now I'm very excited about this book. I see it everywhere on Pinterest, on Instagram. Everyone raves about this book. So I'm very excited to dive straight into this book and I know it's going to be amazing. Then it's How to Live an Extraordinary Life. I got sent this book actually and I started seeing it pop up on Pinterest and I was like, actually, I've got that book. And some of the tips that I've read little, chapters or pages from Pinterest. I'm like, yeah, this book is going to be great as well. How to Live an Extraordinary Life. So I'm really excited about that. And then lastly, I've written a book called How to Handle Money, which is a beginner's guide to personal finance. So if you're someone who wants to get their basic foundational information around financial literacy, how to save, invest, budget, taxes, everything, especially if you're in the UK, How to Handle Money is what you should be looking at. Next up is podcasts. So I'm not a massive podcast person, I'll be honest, but I do put on a podcast or two when I am driving. Number one, unsurprisingly, is Diary of a CEO. I love hearing how people who have come before us and made that money and gotten that level of success have done it. Trials, tribulations, things that we can learn. Love that podcast. Second is Planet Money. If you are someone who wants to keep up to date on what's going on in the economy, not just in the UK, but across the globe and how that impacts you and what you should know, Planet Money by NPR, definitely have a look. And then lastly, again, it wouldn't be me if I didn't tell you about my podcast, Pennies to Pounds. If you're looking to hear from experts about how to manage your money and how to really get ahead, then Pennies to Pounds is the podcast to have a look at. And then lastly, a resource that I would encourage everyone to do is your network is your network. So you need to really invest in building that network. Like you can do different things by joining communities like the one I'm starting. You can subscribe to newsletters. You can do a load of different things. But one thing that I have seen has really put me on another level is LinkedIn. I made a video about this yesterday, actually, talking about how important LinkedIn is, especially if you are creative, working 9 to 5. It is not just a job search platform. It is not just you come on there because I need a new job, I've got a new job, and I go again until I need another one. You need to use it like you would any other social media. You need to be using it to build your network, to connect with people, and to ultimately change the status of where you are. I have had CEOs of major companies DM me and message me personally on LinkedIn. I have been able to reach out to people who on Instagram I would never be able to get through to. They have teams and teams and teams and teams in front of them. So if I do DM, it's going to the social media manager as opposed to them. Whereas on LinkedIn, it tends to be that person who manages their own LinkedIn. So I highly recommend to invest your time into LinkedIn. If you want me to do a proper series on how to craft your LinkedIn profile for success, I can do that. So there you have it. These are my exact moves, mindset shifts, and resources that I'm planning on using to get myself to £1 million in 365 days. Is it gonna be easy? No. But is it gonna be a great journey and one that is absolutely worthwhile, that will change my life forever and yours too? 100%. I'm gonna be putting in the work every single day, and I want every single one of you watching to do the exact same. If you're ready to join me, make sure you drop a comment and hit subscribe, because this is the year that we are changing our lives and building up our 7-figure net worth. I'll be sharing my journey every single week and giving you more tips and insight on how I'm making my million. So let's build wealth together, and I'll see you on the other side.